We'll give it just like a moment or two to see if anyone finds me. Breathing in and breathing out. Connecting to the breath. Maybe closing the eyes, maybe drawing a smile across your face. You can inhale through the nose, open the mouth, exhale, and let that go. Sit up taller in the spine, roll your shoulders back, open and lead with your heart. Welcome. If you can hear me, okay, amazing. You can hear me fine. The sound is okay. You're my number one support right now. Thank you. Let me see if I can type in here. Am I able to? Sound is okay. Okay, amazing. Great. So, welcome. I pray you're having a good day. We're just dropping in for the moment. Breathing in and breathing out. It is Monday morning here in Thailand, and the rains have stopped for the moment. Bless you. The rains have stopped for the moment. They will probably come back again soon, but it's nice to have a little bit of sun breaking through the clouds. Welcome. Now, today what I wanted to do on this live, I don't normally really do anything on Mondays. I've been experimenting with my flow for the live streams and the practices, and today I wanted to just focus on pranayama and mantra, which really brings us into a meditative state, a meditative experience. And I think that the week ahead will be a bit more focused on these aspects, what we call the subtle body. So we have this very physical body. We'll be doing a bit of physical practice this week as well, but we're going to start to add in this layer of mantra, of pranayama, so that we can start to develop this as a practice. And there will always be times in our lives where we have to slow down. For women, we have to slow down every month. And in our lives, there are often times we have to slow down because, you know, health issues, or maybe you're traveling for work and you can't, you know, practice physically in the way that you want to practice or that you're used to practicing. So accessing the subtle body, it happens in all yogic practices, no matter what type of yoga that you're doing. Sawadee-ka and welcome. But this is another way to highlight it a bit more and to integrate it a bit more into your day-to-day practice. So we're going to build an awareness of that. I think ultimately what I want to do is some type of free online training so that you get the information and you understand it a bit more. And all of these practices are available to us, you know, pretty much for free if you find a good teacher or a good resource, and we want to be tapping into that. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is bring our hands together at the heart center in prayer mudra, and take a moment, close your eyes, and feel the heat between the hands. And let's go ahead and rub the palms and just create a little bit of active heat here. And you can start to feel that friction and then settle into stillness and feel the heat. That's like a sacred fire between the palms of your hands. Think of a sacred fire as the source of creativity, the source of positivity, the source of passion and devotion, our power to use our hands for good things, to create, to pray, to bow. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here. If you're able to join me, please join. We'll come together with one Om. Breathing in. Inhale and exhale. Take just a gentle bow of your head towards your prayer, towards your heart. It's a beautiful symbol of releasing the mind, all of the intellectual thoughts of the mind, into the reverence and devotion of our own hearts, to activate that. And we can slowly come up through the crown of the head and release the hands down. Now, these practices are very subtle, and to understand what that is, doing a very hardcore physical practice, we can feel things pretty easily, right? If you're like lifting weights, if you're doing heavy vinyasa, even the yin yoga, you just feel what's happening in the body. Even if you don't fully understand it, you feel it very deeply, clearly, let's say. And with something that is more subtle, it can feel a bit mysterious. You're not sure exactly what you are supposed to be feeling. Which is why when we develop a yogic practice, we're developing a level of consistency to be able to observe the practice day after day after day, so we can observe these slow moving changes within. How do we feel? Do we feel more energized? Which means we have to understand what that means for ourselves to feel energized. For me, energy means focus. It doesn't just mean that I feel, like I feel if I drink a lot of caffeine and I'm just like up and very alive and wow, very animated. Energy for me means I'm able to sustain at my projects, like at my computer, if I'm writing, if I'm editing a video, if I'm conceptualizing, if I'm teaching, if I have a lot of students on that day, a lot of clients, that I have the energy to really be able to move through the day and to not feel exhausted, right? Which is great. So for me, pranayama really does that. And one of my favorite pranayams is just this very simple alternate nostril breathing. And this practice, you can pretty much do it anywhere and at any time. And for women, it's very safe to do throughout the whole month. For men, of course, same safety applies. And you can even do it a couple times throughout the day. It's a great way to regulate your nervous system if you're feeling like that fight or flight mode, or you're watching stuff on television, it's really bumming you out. Some of the things that are happening, many of the things that are happening throughout the world, right? It can really weigh heavy on the system. So this is a way where we're bringing in fresh energy. We call it prana. Prana is the life force. Some traditions call it chi, right? Energy, chi, life force. And the best way to illustrate this is to look out at nature. All of that is prana. The trees in the forest, the rivers, the creeks, the lakes, even like fresh fruits from the trees, right? Or vegetables growing in a garden. Like a garden is very high prana. So when you go into those spaces, right, if you sit in the middle of a garden, your whole being starts to shift because the energy is so pure. Okay. So we're going to try a little bit of this breathing, and then this week we're going to do a longer set every time we come together to practice. This week we'll start with pranayama, and then we will move into the mantra. So I'm going to explain it, even though you might already know this practice. I just want to make it very accessible for those who are new to it. And essentially what we're doing is we are just inhaling through one channel, and then we're going to switch and exhale through the opposite channel. And then we're going to inhale through that same channel and then switch to the other side. We call it alternate nostril. So we're alternating the breath. And what you can think of is that breath coming in, circling around your ajna chakra, your third eye, and moving out the other side. We have these polarities in the system. And a lot of times we get caught in one side. And you see this very much mirroring in the world when you even just look at politics. Sawadika, welcome. Thank you for being here. Bless you. Now, moving the energy through both channels, right, it's going to help bring us into a more harmonious state of consciousness, a more harmonious state of presence, the capacity to really see things not from a polarized state of being, right? Where we're like edgy and emotional and we think everyone is against us or against our idea and we have to like keep defending it. No. We just want to have a conversation, right? We just want to be in a conversation and be able to receive different ideas and different understandings so that we can come to an understanding. So let's try it. What we're going to do, I like to use my thumb and I like to use my ring finger here. In some traditions, we take a mudra. So you would make a little fist, release your pinky, ring finger, and thumb. And you can do this mudra. I like to just keep my hands free, my fingers forward towards the heavens, towards the cosmos, towards the planets. It's like a little antenna there. Let's come up into a nice tall seat. You can bring your opposite hand into Gyan Mudra, thumb and index finger. I like the palm facing up. My apologies for any distractions and sounds around the space. Some trucks moving outside, morning business. Okay, take the right hand in front of your face. First, you're going to breathe in deep through both nostrils. And breathe out. And then you will cover the right nostril with the thumb and inhale through the left. Cover the left nostril with the ring finger and exhale through the right. Inhaling through the right. Close, exhale through the left. Inhaling through the left. And exhale through the right. Inhaling through the right. Exhale through the left. We're going to continue on our own. Take your time with it now. Keep the spine tall. The shoulders relaxed. And don't force the breath, just go with it. It might be really, really slow on one side. Long, deep, slow breathing. And the next time you empty out of the left channel, just release your hand down and breathe in and breathe out. And just feel, notice. Noticing how you feel. Maybe you're able to sit up a little bit taller in the spine. Maybe you feel a bit more relaxed. I definitely do. I definitely feel a bit more in my center, which is the point. Okay, let's see here. I don't know what that is, but welcome, welcome if you're here. We're just doing a little pranayama and mantra review. We're going to weave this into all of the practices that I do live this week. So now we're going to move into, I think the best mantra to start with is Ganesh, because it's always good to remove obstacles for the path forward. So I am going to be using a set of mala beads today. And these mala beads I don't ever really wear out in public. Like I don't put it on as a necklace. I just keep these on my altar nice and safe. There was a student who gifted these to me back in 2017 or 2018 in India. She gave these to me as a gift. I feel very grateful. They're beautiful. You don't need to use mala beads. It can be very helpful when you are working on a specific amount of recitations. But if you're newer to mantra, you can also just set a timer and say, okay, I'm going to do this for 5 minutes each day and see how many you get in. You don't have to worry about counting them in the beginning, but ultimately counting them is helpful. The amount of recitations that we do is very helpful in creating the energetic force that is going to essentially awaken within us that which we are seeking externally. So the power of removing all obstacles is within me. The power of removing all obstacles is within you. And we chant this mantra to basically bring that vibration to life within our own being. So the seed, the potential is within all of us. And then once we start to activate that and it starts to come to life, we start to see it in the world around us. We are encountering an obstacle and we meet it with a more solution-oriented mindset versus a feeling of defeat, versus a feeling of I'm a victim or these types of things that the mind can go into, and the mind will ultimately bring our energy down. So this is going to help keep the mind in a more positive vibration. But ultimately, you have to try it and experiment with it for a little bit of time, right? It's not going to just happen after one round of mantra. You need to give it some time. It's the same with yogic practices, right? You can't go into a yoga studio and then just feel like, well, I didn't like it. a lot of people don't like it. I didn't like it in the beginning when I started practicing yoga. I was like, what is this? This is just like, But it kept, it was being introduced to me. So I kept working with it until something opened, right? And I had to take time away and then come back in, all of that. So thank you again so much for being here. And I wish you a beautiful day wherever you are, beautiful evening, peace and light. So we're going to work with the mantra, Om, Om, Gum, like bubble gum, Om Gam Gana Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. So bowing to the energy of Ganesh, who is the remover of all of the obstacles. Right? We are bowing to the energy, right, of that which removes all obstacles. We're calling upon that energy that removes all obstacles. So let's give it a go. And I'm just going to kind of rip through these so you can find me in space and you can chant along with me as you hear it coming through on the other side of the internet. Okay, ready? Find your breath. Shift in your seat if you need to. And let's see what we can create here today. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. 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 Take a deep breath in and hold the breath, hold the life force, hold the vision of all of your obstacles being removed. As you exhale, let it be a blessing towards yourself, towards the planet. Let's bring the hands together at the heart center in prayer mudra. Feel, let's rub the palms and create that heat. And then we'll just bring that prayer in again, that sacred fire, close to the sacred fire of our own hearts. And we'll just seal this practice with the sound of Om, breathing in. Om. And we'll take a gentle bow. Okay, so that is what a lot of it is going to look like this week as we move into the practices. So we're going to do more dedication of pranayama, and we'll just stick with the alternate nostril breath for now. And we are going to work with the Ganesh mantra. We're going to work to elevate that energy within us that can really help us to move the needle forward in our life, to help us remove the obstacles, to help us, get into our root. And we'll talk a bit more day to day, a little bit of teachings here and there around the energy of Ganesh and how it relates to the root chakra and how we can be, very blocked in our root chakra because of fear. And so how to create the energy, create the life force to really, see it and confront it ultimately, right? It's not just about creating a life where you never feel fear. Like, no, you're going to feel fear. You're going to feel blockages. You're going to, feel hesitation. Like, it's just part of being human. And the other part of being human is having access to these types of practices that can really help us to see it and confront it and to say, you know what, I'm not going to be petrified in life. I am going to move it forward. I'm going to move myself forward, move the needle forward. I'm going to create enough energy in my system so that I can point myself in this direction and, create a beautiful life. It is possible. So I thank you again so much for being here. Thank you for your interactions and your comments, and also throughout the whole page. Thank you so much. I truly, truly appreciate it. If you have questions about this, especially if you're seeing this on the replay, please just leave me a message and then I will clarify it in the upcoming sessions. And the physical practice will be a bit more simplified, slow, stretch, easy, so we can integrate the awareness of the subtle body. Okay, wishing you a beautiful day. Thank you so much for being here. Much love, many, many blessings. Khop ka. Thank you. Have a great day. Oops.